Hello, hello, my friends. It is the end of the month of March, almost, which means that it is time for me to share with you guys my candle collection. I use that word very loosely. Update. This was a series that I started back in January of 2024. So we're going on over a year of this series on my channel. Basically, at that time, I was wanting to get a handle on my candle stash. I'm going to call it my stash because truthfully, you guys, I'm not a candle collector. I'm not somebody who holds on to candles just to have them to refer back to. I am somebody who likes to burn through all of the candles that I purchase. But at that time, I was starting to feel very overwhelmed, and I just wanted to know what was in my collection and really prioritize burning candles that I love. That's actually been where my mindset has kind of shifted going into 2025. So I had asked you guys at the beginning of this year, did you want me to continue doing this series? Because it's just kind of peeling back the curtain. And what I do is I share with you how many candles I started out with in my stash at the beginning of this month. I give you a grand total of how many candles I hauled. You guys, this month, it was insane the amount of candles that came into my collection. And then I also share with you guys one of the things that I started to do last year was I started to declutter candles. Basically, fragrances that for one reason or another, they just don't really spark a whole lot of joy for me. And so I do like to share with you guys which ones didn't make the cut for me. And at the end of this video, I will give you guys an updated number of how many candles are currently in my collection going into the next month. Personally, you guys, I have found that doing this has really, really helped me control my spending when it comes to candles. Now, do I still spend money on candles? Absolutely. But I do find myself just being a lot more intentional in what I am purchasing. I look back and I think like, oh, I already have a fragrance similar to that one, or maybe I want to finish burning that fragrance before I buy another one that's got a similar fragrance profile. It's just really, really helped me in a lot of ways. And I hope that it is an encouragement for those of you who are also maybe trying to get a handle on your spending, or maybe you're running out of storage, or you're feeling like, I just want to get a handle on this. So that is what the purpose of this video is. I know a lot of you guys enjoy this video. So if you do, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. I am also wearing my microphone a little bit higher up today. Funny story, you guys, my washing machine, honestly, it needs to be repaired. But truthfully, our washer repair guy, who was very honest with us, told us that the repairs were going to be like $600 to $700. So he's like, just wait until it's not operating anymore, because we actually have a policy on our homeowners insurance that once we need to get a repair done, we actually have like a deductible that I think it's like $500, and then they'll cover the rest of the washing machine. So I'm like, okay. The reason why I'm going into that tangent is because I am running my washing machine right now. And if you hear it in the background, I'm hoping my mic will cancel it out. You guys, it sounds like a jet engine when it's getting ready to take off. It is so, so loud. So apologies for, the mic maybe being a little bit of a distraction. I don't think it is, but who knows? All right, you guys, let's get this video back on the rails. You're going to want to grab a cup of coffee, hot tea, a poppy drink, I don't know, soda. Maybe it's a little bit warm. It's been pretty warm here in Arizona. But let's go ahead and bundle up, or I was going to say strip down, but please don't. Please don't while you're watching this. But let's get cozy. I'm going to share with you guys, like I said, the candles that I decluttered. You guys, I decluttered 19 candles this month. So I've got a lot to talk about. And then also at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a new Kringle candle that I purchased. Not new to me, newer. I guess it was new this year. A new Kringle candle that I picked up, as well as 3 Homeworx candles that were sent to me in PR this week. So as always, all of the candles that I'm talking about today will be listed and linked in the description box down below. But let's go ahead, be over with that intro. Let's go ahead and talk about them. Okay, so at the beginning of this month, I actually began with a grand total of 54 candles in my collection, which I feel like, again, for somebody who reviews candles on YouTube, you guys, I feel like I did a pretty good job. I was like, yay. I did end up emptying only 9 candles this month. And I had mentioned in my empties video, I think I put that up last weekend, that the reason why I feel like I didn't have as much progress this month was because I received a lot of candles to review this month. And so I was really prioritizing burning a lot of Easter collection from Kringle. They also had their spring and summer. I had some new Homeworx. I had caramel sundaes. I had a bunch of candles that I was really trying to get burns done on to give you guys some post-burn reviews. And so that just kind of cut into other candles that I had already started burning. So I did finish burning 9 candles this month. Let's go ahead and talk about some candles that I decluttered. Now, some of these may not come as a surprise to you, especially if I have done dedicated reviews. I'm getting a little bit better, I feel like, in my dedicated reviews, letting you guys know, like, yeah, this one's not going to be a repurchase, or honestly, don't be surprised if you see this in a declutter. So some of these, you may not be surprised at all. The first candle, which may, I know some of you guys really, really love this fragrance. It's a new candle from Yankee Candles. What is it called? Their Hello Italy collection. And a lot of people are loving this fragrance, but you guys, it just was not for me. Pistachio Latte. I went ahead and moved that one along. Another fragrance that was sent to me by Homeworx that I just did not really love was Limoncello Cupcake and Toasted Coconut. Now, I did mention in my post-burn review of that candle that I felt like the coconut note really took over the Limoncello Cupcake, unlike the other 2 flankers candles that I got from that collection, which was the raspberry, and I just uploaded a review of the Bing Cherry on Friday. Those ones, I feel like the raspberry and the Bing Cherry notes actually brought out more of that limoncello cupcake note. It kind of made it a little bit sweeter. I feel like the toasted coconut took over the limoncello cupcake, and I found that that candle, the longer that it burned, it started to smell almost like kind of like a waxy Play-Doh type of smell. I wasn't a fan, so I went ahead and moved that along. Now, a candle that was sent to me in PR by Kringle Candle, and I was very grateful for them to send it to me, but it was funny. I actually saw my friend Melanie referencing last week, I think it was in her weekly candle, like her weekly wax chat, that she was like, yeah, my friend Katie does not like this fragrance at all. And she was correct. Aegean Zest, which is a new fragrance in the spring and summer lineup. You guys, I tried burning it once. I could not. I couldn't do it. It's a very tart lemon scent. However, there is a gardenia and a musk note in there that when that candle was burning, it came across powdery to my nose, and I couldn't do it. I did not love it. Now, again, a lot of people are really, really enjoying that fragrance, so it just was not for me. But thankfully, my mother-in-law liked that fragrance, and she lives in the same town as me, so she went ahead and took that one off of my hands. Another candle that I did go ahead and part with from the new, I actually parted with 2 other candles from the new spring and summer collection. One was Chiffon Parfait and Peony. I did end up passing that one along for a charitable auction. Again, it's a fragrance that wasn't that I didn't like it. It was more so that I'm kind of beyond those fragrance profiles for this time of year. And personally, you guys, I probably could have held on to it for next year. But the truth of the matter is, my channel, I am usually so dedicated to trying to review a lot of new candles that the only ones that really get to linger and stay in my collection or in my stash are fragrances that I truly, truly love. And that fragrance for me didn't meet those qualifications. I felt like, well, I could hang on to it and review it next year, but by then it's going to be old news. And it wasn't really worth hanging on to. So I did go ahead and donate that. And then this was a fragrance that actually grew on me. The Cold Sniff grew on me a little bit more. Initially, I was like, I don't really love it. But the more I sniffed it, the more I liked it. However, I had a friend have a birthday, and I thought that this would be a fragrance that she would enjoy. So I did gift Sugared Peony to a good friend of mine, and she loves the fragrance. It had like a very nice like tuberose note in there, very floral, but again, not headache or super headache inducing fragrance. I get to talking too fast. You guys, my words get all jumbled up. I know that never happens to anybody else. Another Kringle candle that was part of their Easter collection that you guys will probably not be surprised to see that I moved on from was Berry Citrus Bloom. I did mention in my post-burn review of that 3-wick candle that it was my least favorite of the Easter collection. And the reason why is because it was a very floral scent to me, more heady florals. And I have started to make some realizations with floral fragrances that there is a fragrance note that I don't particularly always love, and that note is freesia. To my nose, it comes across almost like a dirty floral. That's the best way that I can describe it. My nose doesn't like it. And unfortunately, freesia was one of the fragrance notes that did come out in that candle when it was burning. It was very perfumey. I could see some people enjoying it, but for me, it just wasn't for me. So I went ahead and moved on from it. Another candle that I ended up purchasing in a Yankee haul, I did a buy two, get two sale. I want to say that was in mid-February. And I bought some of their large 2-wick tumblers. And in that collection, it was part of their Hello Italy collection, which, by the way, I think they did a pretty good job overall on that collection. I did purchase the Azure Sky fragrance, but honestly, when I got it in and I sniffed it, I was like, I like it. I don't love it. I don't see myself wanting to like dedicate time to burning this candle. I do find that those large signature jars do take a longer time to fully burn through. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move on from this one. So I did go ahead and gift that to somebody else. Okay, here's a couple that may surprise you guys that I parted with. But again, I was finding myself getting a little bit overwhelmed by candles. When I tell you guys the amount of candles that I hauled this week, or not this week, this month, you guys are going to understand why I was starting to feel a little bit like, we've got to declutter. Like, there's too much in here. I'm not going to be able to get through all of it. When I tallied up the number, even I was surprised of like, wow, that's a lot to come in 1 month. So here's a couple of fragrances that I went through my stash and I went ahead and moved on from. I actually parted with a fall fragrance to me, which is Apple Leaf in the 3 wicks from Kringle Candle. Now that fragrance to me, I do enjoy it. It's very much like the like an apple tree, like you get like the woody note in the stem more so than it is like the apple fruit. And I really enjoyed it. It's a great early fall scent. I like burning that like late August, early September when I'm not quite ready for all of the spice and gourmand and apple and pumpkin, but I'm getting ready for it. That's a great time of year to burn it. But again, I thought, you know what? I've burned through one of those already. I think I've reviewed it on my channel. I really don't need another one because, again, I like it, but I just figured, you know what? Come fall, I'm going to have enough on my plate to have to review. So why don't I go ahead and gift that? My mother-in-law was the beneficiary of quite a few of these candles because she really enjoys burning candles and she goes through them rather quickly. So I was more than happy to share these with her. Another fragrance that I moved on from was Essentials from Kringle Candle in the 3-wick. That fragrance is very, very similar to Bath & Body Works Sun Washed Citrus, Capri Blue Volcano. It's in that fragrance family. I think Yankees Iceberry Lemonade is also in that same fragrance profile. I've had it. I enjoy it. But again, I don't love it enough that I feel like I need to put it into my rotation that would be taking up the time of another candle that I probably am wanting to either enjoy more right now or develop some thoughts for review on. Here's one that's going to shock you guys, but also maybe not shock you. I actually gifted my Bath & Body Works Pistachio and Toasted Vanilla candle that I had purchased just a couple of months ago. And the reason why I did that, you guys, was because I love that fragrance. However, that candle did not burn well for me. This has been a repeated thing. We all know Bath & Body Works candles, for whatever reason, over the last 6 months have not been burning well for me. I decided I don't want to have to waste time with that next year. I don't want to even have to deal with putting it in the candle crock. And truthfully, you guys, I've made this known. Pistachio fragrances done by Caramel Sundays are like my new favorite. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to be burning pistachio scents next winter, it's probably going to be Caramel Sundays. So I went ahead and moved on from that. Now, I did move on from some of the Scentworx candles that were gifted to me by the Slatkin & Co. brand. I did do earlier this week 2 dedicated post-burn reviews on the 2 Scentworx candles that I did burn, which were Sugar Cookie and what was the other one that I did? Lemon Blueberry Muffin. Now, you're going to see those 2 candles, I did actually end up moving on from them. I did do the dedicated post-burn reviews, and if you missed those reviews, one of the underlying sentiments that I had for those candles was that, to me, in fact, I had somebody comment and say, I think that they're just very boring in terms of their scent profile, and I would agree. I had mentioned in both of those reviews that my take on the new Scentworx lineup is that, first off, I think that it's a very good business strategy for Harry Slatkin. He's a great businessman. You have to give it to him for that. I mentioned that I felt like like making a cross like cross niche comparison, I feel like Scentworx is like the drugstore makeup of like the high end or prestige line. So like I had mentioned, I think in one of the reviews that I said, like, we know that L'Oreal as a cosmetics company actually owns an umbrella for like Lancome. Lancome is what you would find at the department stores or on the prestige side of Ulta or Sephora. You know, they're a little bit more high end. L'Oreal itself is actually sold in the drugstore market. And where I was going with this is that I feel like Scentworx is the drugstore version of to Homeworx. Homeworx is going to be more of your prestige. The fragrance notes are going to be a little bit more complex and nuanced and more unique, whereas Scentworx is just your basic fragrances. Now, do I feel like there's a market for that? Clearly, Scentworx or Slatkin & Co. does, because they have partnered with Walmart. And I had even mentioned in a lot of those videos that I feel like that candle price point, those candle blends, those fragrances are really not, I feel like the focus or the demographic for those candles are not for people like, I would say, us in the candle community, who we really enjoy like picking out fragrance notes, and we love things that are a little bit more like, I keep going back to unique fragrances that you're not going to find all the time. Whereas the Scentworx brand is for the people who happen to be doing their grocery shopping. They might be having a gathering that weekend. They don't want their house to smell like dogs or kids or whatever. They want something to kind of liven it up, but they don't want to spend a whole lot of money on candles. I feel like that is what the Scentworx brand is. That is their target shopper. And again, it's a brilliant marketing strategy or a brilliant business move, because I think it's just introducing home fragrance to maybe somebody else who wouldn't have given a thought to it. So those were my thoughts on that, but I didn't really enjoy the burn. I didn't really enjoy the fragrance profile. I did find them to be a little bit sooty. And I did remember I was going to mention something about the wicks with them. Even I noticed, like, when I would go to trim the wicks, it's kind of funny, but like when I trim wicks, like my Kringle wicks, my Caramel Sundays wicks, even my Homeworx wicks, when you go to snip them, they snip real cleanly, and it's not like there's no like I want to put it like a drag or something, but I did notice like the Scentworx ones, and sometimes with my Bath and Body Works, if the wick is too thick, I noticed that it's almost like hard to trim the wick, and that was something that I was noticing, which to me says that they're a little bit cheaper quality style of wick. So that's a long way of kind of giving the overall assessment of Scentworx, because what I did want to say is that I did burn those two that were sent to me, but I did end up decluttering the other three fragrances that were sent to me, which were S'mores, Juicy Watermelon, and Pineapple Passion. So all five of the Scentworx candles that were sent to me in PR, very glad that they gave them to me to go ahead and try out, but I did go ahead and just flat out gift the other three that I didn't burn. I did go ahead and donate those to charity. There were some charitable auctions going on, and so those went that way. Another Homeworx candle that I ended up decluttering, again, donated it to charity, was Tiare Sunrise. Now that was a candle that I actually, I used some of my gratis money with Homeworx. Those of you who may be new, I am a Facebook group moderator. Yeah, Facebook group moderator for Slatkin & Co. And one of the ways that they say thank you to their moderators is that they will occasionally offer us gratis, which means it's like a gift card that we can spend on the website. And so one of the candles that I had purchased was Tiare Sunrise. It's not a new fragrance. It's been around for a while, but it smelled very similar to me as like Garden Bouquet. It's kind of got like it reminds me kind of a little bit of like Bath and Body Works Plumeria from way back in the day. But I realized that I was like, you know what? I've already had fragrances like this before. I'm not exactly clamoring to burn this again. So again, went ahead and moved it along. And then another candle that you guys might be a little bit surprised, because I did give a favorable review to it, but I did mention that I said if somebody walks into my home and they really love this fragrance, I would probably part with it. And that would be Country Candles Grape Soda. Again, part of the new spring and summer lineup. I actually said that it's a nice grape fragrance. It's a very, very sugary, not medicinal grape, but very sweet, sugary grape type of scent. It's not deep and robust like their Merlot line. And somebody did come into my home and say, "Oh, I really like that scent." And I said, "You want it? Here, you can have it." Paired really nicely with like jelly bean fragrances. I think it's actually a great fragrance for this time of year, especially, you know, April. We're going to be celebrating Easter for those of you who celebrate. Sometimes people like those like kind of like jelly bean, sugary type of fragrances. And I think that if you fall in that camp, you're going to like the grape soda fragrance. But again, It was a fragrance that I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to have. Again, I could have held on to it, but somebody else said, "Oh, I really like that." And I was like, "Here, you can have it." And then another fragrance that I did declutter, I actually just purchased it this month. I did do a review on it this last Friday, was Kringle Candles Shamrock Fields. It was a fragrance that was marketed for St. Patrick's Day. They did mark those candles down to $15.50. They were 50% off. And so that's why I decided, you know what? I was intrigued enough by the fragrance profile that I was like, let's go ahead and roll the dice on it. And I did purchase it. Now, one of the things I did mention in my review was that to me, it was, I wasn't enjoying it. There was an herbaceous note that comes across a little bit like oregano to me. I think it's oregano, slightly bitter. The herbaceous note was slightly bitter to me, but it was also mixed with kind of like a fresh sea air type of vibe. And it reminded me very much of like green stems, um, like green on the plant. But anyways, if you want more information on that, I did do the dedicated post burn review on that candle, but I just said like I didn't really love it enough to want to keep it in my collection. Now, I did say that it paired really nicely with the new Lemon Splash Reserve candle that will be coming. I think that will be available this Thursday on Kringle's website. But again, not a fragrance I loved enough that I felt like I wanted to dedicate more burn hours to it in my home. And then the last fragrance that I ended up decluttering, and you guys will see a dedicated review on it. I did make sure that I filmed a review on it prior to me decluttering it. That will be going up this week. I think I have it slated to go up on Tuesday, is Homeworx Jasmine Rain. Now, again, this is another fragrance that I used some gratis money on at the Slatkin & Co. website. I had never had it before. I've seen it circulating, and I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and try it out because I really enjoyed the, I think it's called Sugared Jasmine from Bath & Body Works this year. And I thought, okay, I'm kind of opening up to jasmine fragrances. If it was just a jasmine fragrance, I would have loved it. But remember earlier when I was talking about that berry citrus bloom and there being a freesia note? Guess what note is in the Jasmine Rain? There's freesia in there, and my nose could definitely smell it when it was burning. And I decided, you know what? I liked it on cold, but on burning, that freesia note came out, and I was like, nope, don't like this. So I went ahead and moved on from it. But also, that candle, I don't see it available on the Slatkin & Co. website or at QVC. So I don't know if that fragrance has just been completely discontinued. You might come across it in like the discount retailers, but I wasn't able to find it at the time that I filmed that review. So I figured, go ahead and move on from it. So that was a grand total of 19 candles that I decluttered from my stash. Let me know in the comment box down below if you are clutching your pearls at any of those, because sometimes it's hard to like mention, like, I mean, it's hard. I've gotten used to it. Like I've just realized that we all have different fragrance preferences, and sometimes candles just don't work out for me. And I'm like, yeah, time to move on. So the other reason why I decluttered 19, I mentioned to you guys that I was starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed. You guys, in the month of March, when I did a grand total of how many candles came into my collection, you might be clutching your pearls about, okay? All right, I'm just gonna like list off here some basics, and you don't even have to keep up with the math here. But I received all 12 of the new Kringle & Country Spring Collection, okay? I received 4 Yankee candles, or I bought 4 Yankee candles in the buy 2, get 2. I did use my gratis money to purchase 4 Homeworx candles. I did purchase 6 Caramel Sundays candles in their February restock, so those showed up in the month of March. I did also receive 6 Kringle Easter candles in PR. So just Kringle alone, you guys, Kringle alone this month sent me, and I'm not saying this in a braggadocious way, but just showing you like, I got those 6 candles. If you caught my video yesterday, I received another 4 candles in their new reserve line that's coming up this week. So Kringle by themselves, those were 4 candles, had a total of 22 candles sent to me in PR this month. So that was a lot just with Kringle. And then I got the 5 Scentworx candles sent to me by Slatkin & Co. And then I did go ahead and purchase a couple of candles and then had a couple more sent to me in PR. So my grand total, you guys, for this month alone, for the month of March, I had a total of 48 candles come into my collection. That's a lot. It's a lot. I don't have that much space to store a lot of candles. And again, I am always very, very grateful. I am never complaining. I am very, very grateful that these brands have sent me the candles. And I do try to honor them by making my thoughts known here or on my Instagram or share with you guys the dedicated post-burn reviews. But then I also don't, I've gotten to the point where I don't feel bad if a candle doesn't work out for me, just moving it along to somebody else because somebody else is going to enjoy it. It's not going into a landfill. Other people take it off my hands and they're like, oh, I love this. And then I've usually introduced a lot of new people to the brand. So I feel like it's all working out in the end. But I did want to share with you guys a couple of the other candles that I haven't shown you guys or just let you guys know, like, hey, these were other candles that I went out of my way to purchase this month. So I did go ahead and purchase backups of lemon sugar marshmallow. You guys all saw that coming. And carrot cake from the Easter lineup. Those were, I was excited to get more of those. More so the lemon sugar marshmallow. That is still my number one lemon gourmand fragrance. If you and I have similar fragrance preferences, if you like a good lemon gourmand, get your hands on that lemon sugar marshmallow, either in the little 3-wicks, that's known as sweet as can be, or I personally would just say go with the large 2-wick format because it's perfect. I love that scent so much. And then I did go ahead and purchased 2 of the St. Patrick's Day candles. One of them I already told you I ended up decluttering. But the other candle that I was able to get my hands on was Leprechaun Treats. Now, this candle is sold out, unfortunately, now. But what I am going to do is I'm actually going to hang on to this. I'm actually going to burn it with this candle. I actually see myself burning with the new cherry cola scent. And here's why. I know that this is a very vanilla heavy fragrance. The fragrance notes are super sweet, very vanilla, creamy vanilla, warm amber, more vanilla. But I'm going to tell you guys, this to me, I was like, okay, yes, I get a bit of vanilla pudding in here. That's what this smells like to me. It smells like vanilla pudding. But there is, everybody has said, like, there's a little bit of a different note in here. I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I think the amber note that is in the base of this candle, because I smell it more so when it's burning, the amber note slightly gives me a reminder of like butterscotch. I feel like that's what I'm smelling in here is, and the butterscotch is not as heavy as the, Butter Rum Cafe from the winter lineup. It's not that heavy. This definitely smells like vanilla pudding with like a little tinge of butterscotch. That's what this candle smells like to my nose. I'm not mad at it. I like it. I can definitely see myself pairing it with other fragrances. I had initially hoped that this would be like a vanilla scent that I could burn with like some more of my florals. Spoiler alert, it's not that. Again, it's more of like a winter vanilla that I would say. It reminds me of vanilla pudding with a little bit of butterscotch. That's what I would describe this scent as. I do enjoy it, but again, it's more of like a colder weather type of vanilla to me. I did purchase, you guys, I will have it up next weekend for you guys because it's on its way to me. But spoiler alert, I was able to get my hands on the Bakery on Main from Caramel Sundays. I haven't tried that scent yet, but I heard it's a delicious vanilla scent. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But that's the fragrance that I'm hoping to pair with like some more of the floral candles that I have. So that was what I ended up purchasing from Kringle this month. And then as promised, I did just want to take the time really quickly to share with you guys the 3 fragrances that Slatkin & Co. sent me. These are new Homeworx candles. One is a completely brand new scent. The other 2 are, I believe, have been around before, but I've never had my hands on them. So kind of fun to try something new. So the first fragrance here is Whipped Raspberry Vanilla. We have fragrance notes of whipped vanilla, sweet raspberry, bright orange, exotic red fruit. This has a pour date of October 24th, 2024. And this is like a perfumey. I get a little bit of orange in there. I get the vanilla, I get raspberry, but I do get a sweetness of orange in this as well. But it's slightly perfumey. It actually reminds me of like a Bath & Body Works body care. I saw my friend Connor. He also is a Homeworx ambassador, and he got this same PR. And I saw his video, and he was saying he didn't quite love this, but he said that he didn't feel like it was as good as Bath & Body Works. But I feel like I do remember, I think, what do they have? Like whipped raspberries and vanilla. And I think that this smells similar, but this has the addition of like an orange note in here. I'm not mad at it. I do like it. Is it something that I feel like I would have gone out of my way to purchase? No. But I do like it. I think it's a great scent for this time of year. If you're somebody who likes a raspberry and orange mixed together with that like creamy vanilla in it, I think you're going to like it. I don't know why I talk with my hands like that, like vanilla. Like, what does that mean? Yeah, oh, well, just is what it is. And then another fragrance that they sent me is Iced Cherry Fizz. Now, this could go one way or another because cherry fragrances aren't typically always in my wheelhouse. We have fragrance notes of wild cherries, lemon fizz soda, juicy pineapple, and sugared raspberries. This has a pour date of November 20th, 2024. Okay, so I like this more than I thought I would. There is definitely an effervescence to this candle, which Homeworx has done this a few times. I'm trying to think of, I think they had like, what was it called? Like kiwi margarita. That was a good scent a few years ago. But this to me, the cherry note that I get in here is, it's not like what I was mentioning yesterday in the cherry cola. The cherry cola fragrance from Kringle, that cherry note is like maraschino cherry. It's almost like the cherry syrup that they put in like a Shirley Temple or something. That's the scent that I'm getting in that cherry. Whereas this is more, not quite medicinal cherry. It's a different cherry note that I've even picked up in their, they had like a cherry cola fragrance last year. It's not that Bing cherry that Harry's been kind of on a kick with lately. It's sweet, but there are some other fruits going on here that's giving it like an effervescence. Lemon fizz soda. Yeah, and sugared raspberries. I do get a little bit of raspberry in here too. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it enough that I'm going to give it a whirl here. So I am happy that they sent this to me. And then the last fragrance, this is the brand new scent being marketed. This is Candied Sorbet. I love the colors on here. It's just kind of bright and fun and festive. We have fragrance notes of vanilla sorbet, sweet sugared berries, cotton candy swirls, creamy sandalwood. This has a pour date of November 19th, 2024. All right. I actually like this. It's a gourmand. There is something creamy like a sorbet in here, but it's not as heavy as ice cream because sorbet is slightly lighter, Sorbet I've had, I know like a few times when I've gone to like a multi-course restaurant, like one of those really expensive dinners that like I go to once a year, maybe for my anniversary. In between the courses, they oftentimes will bring out sorbet to kind of like cleanse your palate. Now this, I get berries in here. What berries are they saying? Sweet sugared berries. It's kind of like a cotton candy swirls. Yeah, there's something. It's kind of a mix of like strawberry, maybe a tinge of blueberry, raspberry. Like it's kind of probably more red berries than like a blueberry. I would say red berries. It's sugary, slightly creamy, but it is interesting because it's funny that they have a note of creamy sandalwood in here. Now, I do like the way that Homeworx tends to do sandalwood. The sandalwood note in here is not like the sandalwood note that's in Namaste Woods or some of their more like, I would say like, I want to market them as like high-end spa vacation type of vibes. It's not the same sandalwood note, but it does lend a little bit of perfuminess to this candle. I think it's giving it like slight perfuminess. It's a nice fragrance. I don't hate it. This one, I actually think that I'm going to pair it with a good vanilla scent to just kind of, see what I think about that. But right now, what I am trying to do this week is I am actually really trying to prioritize finishing burning some of the candles that I've gotten like to the halfway point on, and I just kind of want to be done with them before I start lighting some new ones. But as I get to burning these, I will make sure that I give you guys some post-burn thoughts. And as always, the other thing that I do always like to mention here when it comes to a lot of my dedicated reviews, or if you've seen any of my videos or hauls and know that I have candles that maybe you're wanting to purchase them, but I haven't gotten around to doing a dedicated review on yet, please always feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, or I believe, have my email address listed in the description box down below. You're always welcome to drop me a message or an email and say, hey, I noticed you haven't done a dedicated review on this one yet. I'm contemplating purchasing it. I'll let you know if I've started burning a candle yet and what my experience has been. I'm always willing to help you guys out with that. So yeah, you guys, began the month with 54 candles. At the end of this month, between the 48 candles that came in and the 19 candles that I decluttered and the 9 that I finished up, as of today, I have 74 candles in my stash. So again, jumped up by about 20 candles, but I'm hoping in the month of April that I'll be able to kind of work through and finish up more candles. I'm hoping that the new releases might slow down, give us a little bit of a break for the month, so that way I can go ahead and finish up some of the candles that I have currently been enjoying and make a little bit more of a dent. I do like to keep my stash closer to the 50 candle range, but it's always just a fun challenge for me. So let me know in the comment box down below. Did you declutter any candles this month, or did you have an excessive amount of candles come into your collection? Let me know. I'm not the only one. It makes me feel a little bit better. Let me know if you enjoy this series. It really helps me out. It gives me that motivation to keep it going. I know a lot of you guys have said that you appreciate this and it helps you control your purchases. Again, please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. And I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. Until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.